Welcome back to the Raptors Wrap-Up podcast. I'm your host, Edwin Lingam. And man, what a game. What a game. What a game. The Raptors lose to the Brooklyn Nets 106-105 in overtime in Brooklyn. And man, this was as frustrating as a game as you'll ever see from the Raptors. Out of all the losses the Raptors had this season, this is by far the most infuriating and frustrating loss you could watch. Just a struggle to watch this game offensively and defensively. It was just terrible. But let's break it down. The Raptors go down by double digits in this game against the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are on an 8-game losing streak. Okay, so they've been losing tons of games. Now, Kenny Atkinson, the Brooklyn head coach, has his team playing hard. So a hard playing team, and they play hard every night with energy, with effort, and they play competitively. It's not like they get blown all the time. But they're on an 8-game losing streak for a reason, and the Raptors let them break the losing streak, which is pretty sad for the Raptors, who are the best team in the NBA. But man, Kawhi Leonard misses a game winner in this game at the end of regulation because Pascal Siakam could not set a proper screen to get Rondae Hollis-Jefferson off of him. So then that play was just blown up, and then it was just an ISO play at the end of the day, and he got a good look. It rimmed out, but honestly, these ISO plays, is like a 20% chance of going in nowadays. So I don't know if that's a great play from Nick Nurse, but then you have in overtime, the Raptors get 5 straight points from Kawhi Leonard. But with JV on the court, you thought they were doing well rebounding wise because the Raptors did a poor job rebounding this entire game. But then he takes off JV to put in Siakam just because of the switching. But then the Nets expose the Raptors' small ball lineup and go to Jared Allen for the game winner. And then VanVleet misses a wide open 3. And there you go. Raptors lose. So you had 2 chances to win this game. You missed both. Not surprising you missed a wide open 3 because the Raptors couldn't hit a jump shot to save their lives in this game. So let's break down what exactly caused the Raptors to lose tonight. Got 3 reasons. First, poor rebounding. Their defensive rebounding is atrocious. No matter how many rebounding drills you do, you gotta box out. And this team, there was this one play where all 4 guys are watching the basketball get shot off the rim, and DeMar Carroll just comes in, grabs it, and throws back in. Like, absolutely no box out. No one even cared to watch any of the players. There's one Brooklyn player coming in. Everybody else is gone. And you couldn't box this one guy out, and you had 4 guys there. It was just like, what are you guys doing? Pay attention. Just simple basketball fundamentals. Box the guy out. Get the defensive rebound and the defensive possession. Just every time the Raptors turned in a great defensive stop in terms of forcing them into a bad shot, the Raptors would always allow an offensive rebound. And they got killed on the rebounds today. 60-41, the Raptors lost the rebounding margin. 16 offensive rebounds given up. 9 out of the 10 Brooklyn players who logged in minutes today had an offensive rebound. 9 different people had offensive rebounds. So you can't just say, oh, they had like a Tristan Thompson or they had like a Andre Drummond. This is 9 different players, from the Joe Harrises, the Allen Crabs, and to the Jared Dudleys of the world. Everybody had offensive rebound. It was just disgusting to watch. The effort was just not there. And then, second reason, I say poor shooting. Wide open looks for everybody from the outside. It was brick after brick after brick. Man, OG breaking, Siakam breaking. Kyle Lowry had numerous amount of open looks and just not even close. Like super off. Like super strong. Like strong bricks, just ugly shots. It just looked terrible. The only guy that had it going from outside was Kawhi Leonard, who's raising up this 3-point percentage of this team. He was like 10 of 12 in the last 2 games combined. He's on fire from the outside, but the rest of this team is just poor. Man. The third reason I say the Raptors lost this game is their pick and roll defense. And man, if you saw this game, D'Angelo Russell and Spencer Dinwiddie, they took turns just destroying the Raptors pick and roll defense. And every time they saw JV in the pick and roll, they just abused them. And it's not like anybody else did a better job. Siakam and them didn't do a greater job either. You had Spencer Dinwiddie. Every time he had the pick and roll, you knew he was driving. He would drive, he would score. D'Angelo Russell, a different type of pick and roll defense. He's a jump shooter. And he just kept shooting the basketball in the mid-range. And bam, both guys combined, I believe, for like about 50 points in this game. Raptors did absolutely nothing to stop them. It was poor defense, to say the least. Kawhi Leonard came up with a stop to stop Brooklyn from scoring in regulation to force overtime, but that's the only time I've seen the Raptors actually stop them. Otherwise, the Brooklyn Nets got everything they wanted. And then there's some good parts to this game. I would say the bright spots in this game would be Kawhi Leonard had another solid 32-point night. Was great all around. Was stealing the basketball, was scoring the basketball, getting to the line, hitting the three. He was everywhere tonight, and even finding his teammates for open shots. He could have had like 10 assists in this game. People just knocked down some jumpers for him. But also JV with another strong 20-plus point night. He had 24 points in the night, 8 rebounds. Solid game from him. Highly efficient. He started today, but for some reason, I feel like Ibaka with that bench mob just seems uncomfortable. It just doesn't seem like he's in the right positions in the right times. It seems like JV's way more comfortable coming off the bench with that lineup and with those guys than Ibaka, because that's what the lineup's been for a long time. Ibaka was always starting and JV's off the bench, and then when you mix it up, you're going to have these tendencies where they're not used to playing with each other kind of thing, and that's exactly how it looked to me tonight. And Ibaka didn't have a good game, and the whole bench was poor tonight. Just garbage. Everybody, you look down the list of their box score, 2 of 7, 2 of 7, 1 of 5. Just poor shooting all around. CJ Miles just doesn't look like he has any sort of game whatsoever on the court. Fouling the three-point shooters, gambling, just didn't look good altogether on this night. Just God, like, get Norman Powell back healthy, because when one of these guys are struggling, even though you have a 10-man rotation, Norman Powell would get minutes 100% with this lineup right now. CJ Miles and OG Anunoby definitely should be benched, because Norman Powell would be playing better than these guys, especially in terms of effort. I don't know what's going on with OG, but he has absolutely no offensive game for some reason. After that one buzzer-beating 3 to end the half for the quarter off, it just seemed like he didn't hit any more shots, I think, for the rest of the game. Just seemed out of control, offensive foul to offensive foul, turnovers, falling all over the floor. Didn't look like a great defender tonight either. But man, it's a struggle. This was a terrible game by the Raptors. Honestly, the one spot I thought the Raptors would actually beat Brooklyn in was the fast break, because the Brooklyn Nets are one of the slower teams in the NBA, so the Raptors should have pushed the pace and scored. But the Raptors only had 5 fast break points to Brooklyn's 16. So he got outscored in that aspect as well, which is pretty sad. I don't know what's wrong with Kyle Lowry, because Kyle Lowry missed a lot of open shots today. But he did get nicked a couple times on some Jared Allen screens and got bumped and hit everywhere else. People are saying his lower back may be an issue. So if that's the case, I would want Kyle Lowry to rest right now. If he's not healthy, he should not be on the court, because we need him in terms of the long term in the future. So if I'm Nick Nurse, I rest him. But man, Nick Nurse did some questionable substitutions in this game and some late play calls with that isolation play. You could have had JV maybe set the screen, because JV set solid screens for Leonard tonight. But otherwise, this team definitely has got to bounce back in the next game, because this is a poor effort in terms of rebounding, shooting the basketball, and just defending altogether. The Raptors got to clean up their act. This is a garbage game, a pure garbage game by the Raptors. Other than Leonard and JV, I don't see anybody else that played exceptionally well or even decent. Pascal Siakam seemed kind of pedestrian, even though he had 16 points on the game. Honestly, this is a terrible game to watch. I don't want you guys to rewatch this game, but I think the Raptors will bounce back. They just need to get into more of a rhythm, knock down some shots, and then pick up the defense. The defense will pick up the offense for the Raptors and push them in fast break. Gotta bounce back, guys. Until next time. Peace. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the Raptors Wrap Up. Smash that like button, guys. Until next time. Deuces.